Hey guys, so I finally got the Jeep that I wanted to get. This is going to be the farm truck, um, but I'm not going to like beat it all up. I'm going to fix this thing and um, actually use it for the farm for like the posts and all the junk and debris and stuff like that. But it's not going to be trashed. But you can see the bed; it needs a lot of work. So I drove home with the Wagoneer. I didn't use the other two Jeeps because they are like this one's only like 3,800 pounds, this one's only like 43, and the Wagoneer is like 52. So I used the heavier Jeep. Of course, when I drove up there, I broke down and I had to sit in the AutoZone parking lot for like 4 hours. Um, and replaced parts. I didn't know what was going on. It was like sputtering anytime you put like a load on it, half throttle or more, or going up hills, and it would just sputter and like it was dying. Um, so I kind of threw a lot of money at it and tried to fix it, which I'm not really happy about because I didn't really have that money to do that. Um, but I found out there was a vacuum line for some reason. I probably should have checked that first, but there was a vacuum line in the back of the carburetor that was open for some reason. I guess I must have popped it off when I was working on it a while ago, and the ignition coil. So drove up to the guy's house, and it was dark, and this is the first time I've ever towed something, so it was kind of nerve-wracking a little bit towing this in the dark because the Jeep is 4,300 pounds, the trailer is 2,200, so that's like a 6,500 pound load. The Wagoneer is rated for only 5 with a 750 pound tongue weight. The trailer hitch is a 7,500 pound hitch, so with the 401, this one has a 360, it's a 7,500 pound towing capacity. So it's not like the Jeep can't do it, it's just that the engine, let's just say I was up in the mountains and it was kind of not difficult, but when I came to hills, I had to roll down the hill like at 70 miles an hour, and I had to do that just to get speed so I can get up the hill because I was like wide open throttle, literally pedal to the floor to get up some of these hills, especially with the Jeep on there. I was wide open throttle and I was like 45 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour on a 70, so it barely did it, but it did do it. So kind of proud of my Wagoneer. But yeah, that 360 is definitely not strong enough for a heavy load like this. So I'm sure my 5.9 limited Grand Cherokee would have done a lot better. The engine is twice as strong. So, but it's just I went with the bigger vehicle, the more weight or whatever. So, and on top of that, the Wagoneer has additional leaf springs in the rear for load capacity. You can see it's kind of sagging a little bit. I got the Jeep for $1,000. I only had $960 on me though afterwards because of all the parts and everything I threw at it. So the guy was okay with that. But I got a brush guard, the front bumper right here, the rear bumper is right there. The rear bumper is in pretty decent shape. It's still thick, it's heavy. You can see it's not terrible. Now, the only thing that I don't think I'm going to be able to fix is the tailgate. The tailgate like goes up to here, so this whole section right here, a couple inches, is rusted off, and I guess there's like a tube on the inside from these full-size Jeep pickups that I guess it's how it rolls down and up or whatever when you drop the tailgates. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix that or rebuild it or whatever. I might have to buy one for $200 to $400 or whatever on Facebook Marketplace, but I still wanted the original tailgate anyway, so we'll see what happens. The guy also gave me a TH400 transmission and a 1339 Quadra-Track transfer case. This one has the 4-low. I think it does. Yeah, 4-low in the back. This Jeep doesn't have 4-low. It's just the 1339 without 4-low. So it's actually kind of nice to have a spare transfer case in case I need parts or whatever, because I know the Quadra-Tracks are finicky, so I read. So, but I think I got a good deal. So the only thing is it, as I was bitching on my other videos, this thing doesn't have a title, so I'm gonna have to title this thing. So that's not gonna be fun. But for now, I'm not worried about that, because Virginia still has 3 or 4 months left for the farm vehicle thing. Plus, I still need to fix this, so it's going to take a while for me to even get to that point. So, but here it is, and this is the typical rust I was talking about on these things. So, this is actually good metal right here. So this just needs to be cleaned underneath. It's just the top portion that rusted. So that's actually not going to be too difficult to fix this. I'm just going to cut this out, weld in some new steel, shape it. Same with over here in the front. Now I know it looks like a piece of crap, and it is. It's a piece of shit. So, but I mean, $1,000, you can't beat that. So, everything else is good. So, the bones are there. Well, mostly, except for the rear. But it's got this thing right here that people are always looking for. The razor grill is in really good shape, except for up here. It looks like somebody tried to pry the hood open at one point. That's not too much of a big deal though. So the hood is a little uneven right here. It sticks out this way and less over there. So it's a J10. It's a 131-inch wheelbase. So it's the 8-foot bed. The door doesn't even work, so I can actually grab it and pull it. So something is sticking in here. And the welds or the thin metal broke, so that's going to have to be taken apart and fixed. And I don't know if I told you, but it's a 76, so it's kind of cool. It has like old oil stickers from like the 80s and stuff like that on here. Door panels are all original. They're still here. They're in great shape. They're not leather, they're vinyl, but they're not torn. They just need to be cleaned up. Obviously this doesn't work. That's to open the door. The windows do work, at least the driver's does. Interior is in really good shape. I mean, look how straight this vinyl dash is. That's like almost unheard of for something 50 years old for these Wagoneers. And on top of that, the speaker up there is not cracked like they always are. It still has its original headliner board, and it's actually not warped. It's just got a lot of that black moss or mold or whatever. There's a lot of that black mold in Virginia. I don't know why, but it's everywhere. So, but it is complete. It has the bench seat. It's like a half vinyl, half fabric, which I actually kind of prefer. And it's not all ripped up. If you look at these things, it has some rips at the seam here, and I'm sure it's going to rip eventually when I sit in it even more. But when you look at these things, usually they're really torn up right here, and rednecks like throw clothes on top of it to add padding. I've actually seen clothing stuffed inside of there to add padding to it. I don't know why, but you can see the floor pans are gone. You're guaranteed to have rusted floor pans or some kind of hole on a full-size Jeep. It doesn't matter what year you get. Even the 90s are going to have it. So these are pretty extensive. It does stop up to here. There's no rust in the back, maybe a little bit right there, but it does have floor pans. The guy bought 2 floor pans, so that's actually nice. So I don't have to like shape and cut anything. Well, I do, but you know what I mean. So the only concern is the rust does get in here. It does have vents for your feet. All these full-size Jeeps do, and they can actually rust pretty bad inside there. So the driver's side looks okay, I think. The passenger side is a little bit different. You can see it's pretty bad right there, so that's going to take some ingenuity to fix that. But everything is here. This looks like it's broken. That's fine. But everything is there on the dash. It's not missing anything. I don't have to find blue, this and that. The only thing that is missing is the air conditioner vents on the bottom that connect to the lower vents over there. So, but I don't think I'm going to be getting the air conditioner working, and I'm not concerned with that right now. So, Now off to the bad stuff. The typical rust on these J pickup trucks is down here. This one is not too bad right here, but it is pretty bad, especially on the other side. The bed supports are gone. The reason why it's sagging is because of the support. It's actually right here. It didn't even look like a support, but as soon as I put my arms up here and push down, the whole bed just dropped. So there are supports for all pickup truck beds lined across, and this one is just done. So that's gonna take quite a bit to fix, but shouldn't be too bad. And here's the back. That's probably one of the worst beds I've seen. So, but I will be able to fix this. So I think I might just get a big flat sheet of steel, just cut all this out, get some support brackets. I've seen some for Fords and stuff like that. It doesn't matter if it's a Ford, Chevy, Jeep, whatever, as long as it welds in there, and get some flat steel and put it in here and fix this. This was a tow pickup truck, and apparently these weights right here were for counterweights for the, sorry, it's windy, counterweights for the tow package, or sorry, not the tow, plow package. So there was one over here as well. That one had to be pulled off. I couldn't get this one off, but the frame is not in good shape in the back. You can see how bad that is. It's still got some meat up here. On the bottom, not so much. So this side is a little bit better. It's got meat on the bottom and the top, but it's all gonna have to be hammered out to get all the chunky stuff off and cleaned, and I can go from there to see how bad it is. The cross member is okay. It's still thick. The gas tank leaks. It actually leaked on my trip. You can see it's still wet right here. And this right here is for the spare tire, which it doesn't have. The rear cross member is done. You can actually see it's flaking rust as I'm touching it to grab it. The frame is bad in the back, as I said. This is another problem area. This is for the bed. It's fine underneath. It's just bad up on top, so I'm going to be cutting this out, welding some fresh steel in there. And these are the little hinges for the tailgate I'm talking about. There's like a tube that I guess connects to this, and that's how it rolls up and down. So so I know you guys are cringing. Oh, why the hell did he buy something like this for $1,000? Well, that's all I had. I didn't want to spend $7,000-8,000 for a Jeep that was almost in similar condition, because that's the problem, is like, you know, these things are not gold mines. They're worth some money when they're really, really clean, but none of these things are clean, and especially on the East Coast, and everybody expects, you know, that they're going to get $10,000 for something that has almost as much rust as this. So I had to weigh my options, and it was either get one that wasn't as rusty and still have to fix those areas, or get one that was a little more rusty for a lot less money and just fix it as time goes. And I chose the cheaper option. So as far as the rust on the frame, it only is about up to here. The rest of it is really good. So I can actually show you if you want to see. So that's surface rust, but it's still really thick. Nothing is flaking off of here. That's all surface rust. And as I said on a prior video, it's always just the rear. So this is all still thick. You see how nothing is flaking off? Maybe a little on the inside, but that's still good steel. So it's just bad, especially on that leaf spring mount. Look at that. You can actually see the bolt is not even bolted to the leaf spring mount, so that entire mount has to be cut off. So that's pretty much where it starts. So this door does work. The hinge pins are bad though. Vinyl is good on here. Seat is not bolted on. The back here is rusted. I know people were telling me to pay attention to the back of the cabin so it's not rusty back here, but it is. Whatever. Floor pans are Fred Flintstone on this side. But look at that vinyl dash. It's in such good condition. And this is another reason why I wanted this Jeep, is I love the blue interior. The baby blue, it just, when you talk about it, it's like, oh, that's ugly, right? But it's just, it's something about it is beautiful. I love this baby blue color. And to be honest, I have not seen this color in many of these Jeeps. Usually it's like a black or like a red interior, or like a tan, sandy tan, and I really despise the sand tan color. If you gave me a Jeep that was in better condition than this thing, and it had like a sandy interior, I don't think I would really take it. I prefer the blue, I really do. So, I need to get this thing started, hopefully. I got a little gas bottle. The gas tank is done, I think. It doesn't leak per se, but we'll go from there. But I have to pour gas in the carb and hopefully get this thing backed up and get it in the garage, because I have to get this U-Haul trailer back to U-Haul by 12, and it is like, what, I think it's 9:30 right now. So yeah, so that's my 1976 Jeep J10. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and I know this is going to be a project. I do. I'm not stupid. So, and just a quick, to show you guys, the frame up here is good. This is all surface rust. It's solid. Nothing is bad on this frame. And I know it looks bad from somebody's point of view that doesn't know much about metal and how it rusts, but that's fine. That's all just surface rust. I did feel dirt inside here, so I'm going to have to clean that out. But leaf spring mounts are good. The leaf springs in the front are not bad either. There's a little bit of a drop right here, but not too bad. The ones in the rear are going to need to be replaced. The problem with the leaf springs is they will get debris and stuff in here, and they start rusting in between, and they will actually separate the leaf springs. The rust like pushes them out. It looks like these are studded tires. And that's another thing, they're going flat, so I need to get this thing out of here before they're completely done. So, which means I need to buy an air compressor too, so I can pump these tires up down the road. But I'm going to be replacing them anyway. It actually has the wheel caps too, all 4 wheel caps. Usually those are gone. Anyway, I'll let you guys go, and hope you enjoyed the video.